Hi, my name's Eric. Welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about Metallica. Today, I'm going to be listening to them for the very first time. The title of this video is probably going to describe me as a pop fan, which is accurate, but I also listen to a variety of other genres in my spare time. Metal, however, hasn't been one of those genres. That's not for a lack of trying, though. I have had certain artists recommended to me by my close friends who are metalheads, but none of it has ever really clicked. Maybe today Metallica will change my mind. Before I dive in, let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to listen to more of Metallica's music or any other artists that I haven't heard before. Check the description box for a link to a list of nonprofits you can donate to. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos every week, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my videos go live. So to get somewhat of a sense for Metallica's music, I'm going to choose 3 of their most popular songs on YouTube, give them a listen, and do my typical sort of analysis of their lyrics with relation to their videos. I realize though that this might not be a representative sample, so like I said, I'm always open to recommendations. So I'm going to start out with their single most popular song and video on YouTube, and that is Nothing Else Matters. Just going to interject here, this seems sort of more in the vein right now of soft rock. Like I said, this might not necessarily be most representative of their discography as a whole, but I'm enjoying it so far. The quality of the lead vocalist's voice is really beautiful. The lyrics are about love and devotion and, feeling a new type of love, which are lyrical ideas that aren't exactly alien to me, having talked about pop on this channel. So far, nothing really out of my wheelhouse. Okay, just going to pause. This is very much lyrically in the realm of an us against the world love song, basically where the struggle that the artist is talking about in the loving relationship isn't necessarily within the relationship, but the forces of the world pressing in on them. The philosophy behind it being the world is set up against love. The fact that we are in love means that we are fighting a battle and winning. This is stuff that I've talked about in videos on Mariah Carey and Taylor Swift. It's not unusual. We have this groove building, and I'm curious if it'll explode later in the song, but yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. I like the Nosferatu shirt. Oh, that's nice. I wonder if the growl is concordant with the very soft and warm message. I really enjoyed that, and I think it was a good introduction because I would imagine some of their other music is on the heavier side and might take more time for someone like me to get used to, but the song was definitely more inviting to a non-metal listener like me. What's interesting is that the song hits on a lot of things that I enjoy about pop music. Like I mentioned, the lyrical idea is completely universal to pop music. Someone might preconceive metal to be an aggressive genre, but these are metal artists making a song about love with no lyrics that are particularly nihilistic or aggressive. If you've watched this channel before, I'm a sucker for drama and for a minor key. There's something about the minor key that almost strikes me as liturgical, sort of in the vein of Jason Molina's new posthumous album, Eight Gates. And it's interesting to me that this is their most popular music video on YouTube because this is probably more of an artist statement than of something that is typically eye-catching. Like, it was very much just guys being dudes, sort of a behind-the-scenes sort of deal. But what it also did was it specifically showed the music-making process. It showed, like, a mixing board and all of them, you know, being so passionate about their different instruments. So this video really sells them as artists and as people. So between the accessible sound, these universal lyrics about love, and this very friendly video, this might be the sort of thing that can pull in people from outside their core fan base. And it's worked so far for me, so let's move on to the second video, Enter Sandman. Ooh, okay. Okay, gonna interject here. So on the surface, again, I felt compelled to interpret the lyrics as comforting, sort of in a similar vein to Nothing Else Matters, because it sounds like it's from the point of view of this father, you know, trying to comfort his son and help him sleep. But the tone of the music does not convey that, and the lyrics themselves also feel like sort of a double-edged sword. We have, you know, exit light, enter night, right? Like, the light is going away, which is, of course, literal, but the loss of light also often represents lyrically the loss of hope. So there is definitely some menace underneath here, but it isn't totally overt yet. Yeah, he's drowning. Okay, so we have a bunch of different types of nightmares going on here. You know what's so funny is the cultural references are pretty much the same in this music as in, like, pop music. Like, he's talking about Neverland and stuff. I mean, obviously he's talking to a child, but it's all of this sort of fairy tale language that you would just as easily find in a pop song. Like, I guess I had just always assumed that there was something, like, metaphysical about metal, like it existed in its own sort of plane that, like, I couldn't quite grasp, but it has all of the same sort of cultural context. I don't know why that was, like, a roadblock for me mentally. Okay, classic falling dream. Oh, that was cool. The camera falling into the bed, that was a cool shot. Those snakes? That's a lot of snakes. Well, at least he wasn't wearing AirPods so he could hear the truck coming. Okay, yeah. It was very cool how the lighting sort of cast his eyes in shadow, so it almost looks like his eye sockets are cavernous. And then if he's Sandman, that makes it very creepy that he was just sitting in the background as the kid was saying his prayers. I'm trying to piece together what it is saying on a deeper level because, like, as an idea, I feel like the inspiration for the song is just sort of the creepiness, I guess, that underlies our, like, sort of human instincts about sleep. The way that we teach children about sleep and the prayers that we teach them to say before they go to sleep sort of have this evolutionary fear of the night underneath them. Because, like, as an idea, the song is, what if optimistic childhood thing, but scary? But I guess a potential deeper message that is pretty still universal is the ways that children process nighttime and sleep. I know that I went through stages as a kid where, like, the fact that it was getting dark outside would scare me and I would just have hesitation about going to sleep because I was afraid of nightmares. So it's almost like this, stand in for any parent telling their kid, like, go to sleep, like, you'll have a dream about Neverland, like, calm down. And the kid internalizing it as this lead singer's growling voice delivering the threat of sleep. But if you're more familiar with this song and it has another significance to you, please let me know. Alright, the third and final song and video I'm going to check out is The Unforgiven. Okay, gonna stop it there. So what we have so far sounds like it's probably about the lead singer himself. He's saying, kids are brought into this world, have beliefs imposed upon them. This is kind of similar that drove this story on Nothing Else Matters, because on Nothing Else Matters, the idea was the world is against love, so let's love despite that. And here, the world is against, individuality and deciding your own path. This perspective might also explain Enter Sandman if, this band believes that being brought into this world is sort of a frightening, doomed thing, then of course the experience of being a child is going to be terrifying, even when it should be optimism and light and comfort and fairy tales. Okay, so we knew that this character was the writer insert. I don't think they needed to tell us that. But so we see the progression of this child trying to break out of like this prison. It almost looked like a sewer. It's sort of like the child trying to, get out through this underbelly, right? And we see him, age. So this is a lifelong battle. Even as an adult, he can't decide his own path. And, he dies with regrets because he never got to be himself, basically. We have this beacon of hope that could either be, freedom, or it could be death, or it could be both. Looks like he's getting the key just a moment too late. It looks like his death coincided with the appearance of this light, this beacon of hope, right? If we're continuing from this perspective of life as hopeless, right, then it would make sense that death and freedom are basically the same. There is no freedom except in death. It just generally sounds like some unresolved resentment, again, probably coming from their childhood, the writers, about being stifled, not being able to forge their own path. The feeling that to do so, they had to subject themselves to, again, it looked like sewers, right? They had to subject themselves to those low lows just to assert themselves as individuals. This song, I think, offers a lot of information about where they're coming from emotionally in their writing. On the surface, Enter Sandman, being from the point of view of a parent to a child, should have been comforting, right? But again, it was this pessimistic take on something that otherwise would be considered, a fond childhood memory. And again, like I mentioned, Nothing Else Matters was motivated by this view of the world as, basically evil and oppressive. So this song sort of lays the groundwork for both of those other ones, where it says from birth you are, told this is who you are, and it's an oppressive role. And, he describes himself as a whipping boy. That is a type of abuse. So it's basically this rock and roll rebelliousness, again, a sentiment that is expressed in pop music too, but with way more pessimism and nihilism. None of the music was particularly heavy, so I wonder if some of Metallica's other music is, so I would be curious to check out more of it, because so far, I've enjoyed it. I found it very listenable. I think the frontman's voice is really nice and has a beautiful tone, and the lyrics aren't the most complicated, but they definitely convey a very particular particular worldview and perspective that I'd be interested to look at more. So like I said, if you want me to check out more of Metallica's music, please let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what other topics you'd like to see me cover on my channel. Check the description for that donation link. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos every week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are staying safe and healthy, and until next time, that's it.